Hi, my name is Weston Furr. This is my video covering the smart doorbell system made for ENME435 with Professor Mitchell. In order to demonstrate the functionality of my smart doorbell, I currently have the virtual desktop running on my laptop so I can run the code directly from the Pi. And then over here I have the camera set up. It's on the mount that would be used for the LiDAR scanning project as well, which is the reason why it's vertical. But I have it mounted on the tripod and it is pointing at my door. And I have the mask set up such that it masks out the door, which I'll go into detail after the video. I'm now in the hallway outside my door, and I just started running the script. You can see that it's now looping, taking the images. However, since I haven't entered the room yet, it's not detecting any change in the pixels. So what you'll notice is once I enter the room, it will now have detected my movement, and it is now beginning to record and watching me walk in, put my laptop down, and now you'll see it's uploading to the Dropbox, and then the email has been delivered. So now if I stop this and go to my email, you'll see 9:47. It's 9:47. And I just got this new email, which does show me walking right in the door. And here you can see the mask, which masks out the door. So this is how it detects the door swinging open. And then I also had it mask the space below so that it could pick up any feet walking. And then here's the second image with me clearly standing in the door with my phone as well, recording the video. And then finally in the Dropbox, we can see 9:47 is the most recent video. If I click on it, hit play, here we can see this is when the video started, and obviously it started recording as soon as it picked me up walking in the door, and then here I am putting my phone down and talking to the screen. Getting into the code and how it works, I copied it over into Visual Studio Code this way in case something with the memory ever went bad in my Raspberry Pi, I wouldn't lose it all. Going through how it works, the most important part of it is this while loop, because this is what the program loops through once you start running it. The next, probably second most important, is the mask that's applied. This point thing here with all of these with this list of arrays and points, this defines the mask that looks at just the door and the floor and ignores everything else that the video is recording. In terms of any other processing, we have converting it to grayscale and then applying the Gaussian blur. I just left it as the values of 11 because I found there to be no issues with these functions. Moving down to the while loop, this lets the user know that it's actually running. Then it takes the image. Now, originally in the video, this was set to 2000 with 2-second intervals between, or with a, that would allow a 1-second interval in between each photo. However, since it was a 1-second interval and this was exactly 2000, I found that most of the time it would only take one photo, so I increased this to 2100. So there's a basically 100 millisecond extra time so that it can actually take 2 images instead of just one during each loop. Then, it titles these images test 0 and test 1. I chose to rotate them because the way it's mounted on my LiDAR scanner means all the photos are off by 90 degrees, so they have to be rotated 90 degrees clockwise. They're fed into the mask image function. And then this area right here is really the main detection, which detects the change in pixels. And basically, by looking at the image row by row, column by column, it determines, are the pixels different? And if so, or if the pixels are different, we basically add this to the detector total. And then if detector total is greater than the threshold, it will then trigger all of this code here, which all of this is basically creating the video. Here we have it uploading the video to the cloud, and then here it is sending the video to the user by email. And then if nothing is detected, it'll print nothing detected yet. This code down here is just a remnants of when I was testing it so that I could look based on my 2 initial alignment photos to see what the camera was actually looking at. And other than that, this is the main functionality of how it works. Some of the key things I had to add were introducing sudo for when running the Dropbox, and then also for the YAG email, we had to change this from the one that was used in the video. But besides that, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for listening.